Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Talking Tradesman. With me in the studio today, I have Paul Tinker. Paul, massive thank you for giving up your time and coming and sitting down with me, mate. I'm sure you're going to drop some nuggets of knowledge and value to the audience.
Let's hope so.
First of all, mate, thank you for your time and let's talk.
Yeah, good.
How are you today, mate?
Good, mate. Thanks for having us down. It's a nice drive from North Lincolnshire.
Absolutely, mate. We touched on this pre-record, but you were the first guest that ever said that they were going to fly down. Yeah. I know you haven't due to the weather, but that would have been a first.
Yeah, flying was, and it was never a plan for me to do it. And it was, I got a bit of FOMO after a mate did it. So a mate left the forces and I said, oh, what are you doing with yourself these days? So I'm learning to fly at the minute. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do that. I went down to the flying school and he gave me a price and I was like, yeah, defo, because people think it's dead expensive. And
Is it not?
No. My whole license was like $8.5K.
Never?
Yeah.
Christ, mate, I'd have put a zero on that easily. I'd have thought 100 grand plus.
Yeah, nowhere near. Nowhere near. And then to hire a plane, it's like 160 quid for an hour.
No way. But you've got your own?
No, I rent it.
Oh, you rent it?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
It'd make no sense to buy one when you hear the numbers, because to buy one, you're on 90 grand for one that's pretty decent, and then you need 20, 30 grand a year to keep it hangared and serviced. And then, like, if you was to fly 40 hours a year, which would be a lot, that, including your fuel, is 160 quid an hour.
Okay.
So it's like 5-6K to rent it, as opposed to 130K a year to hangar it and 90K to actually buy it.
Right.
It just makes no sense to buy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, unless you're going to run a business out of it, a courier business or something like that. Or a flying school yourself.
I went straight to smuggling.
Smuggling, yeah.
Courier business. Yeah, Escobar.
Yeah. I went to prison for that, so we can go there if you want.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. We'll go there. Well, in fairness, mate, I think the best thing to do is probably to introduce yourself a little bit, let the audience know a little bit about who you are, where you got started and what you do.
Yeah, so when I left school, first and foremost, I tried to be a car mechanic at first, and smartly, my employer at the time that put me through my apprenticeship, my company, I won't say my company cars, but the cars they had me working on were all what I deemed to be, back then, sports cars. So I had a Renault 5 Turbo, I had a Clio Williams.
Oh, the nostalgia, mate.
Alfa Romeo. Yeah. I had a Nova, and these were all like fast cars. I was 17 with an hard-on all the time. So I got 14 points on my driving licence at being between 17 and 18 years old. Because I was a mechanic, the courts didn't ban me, because that meant I'd lose my job, lose my apprenticeship.
Okay.
So they just made it impossible for me to have my own car, but I could still get insured by the company. And I did my apprenticeship, and I realised, I'm not actually a very good mechanic. I don't like being dirty, and it's just shit. It's cold, it's wet. So it was, right, what shall I do next? So I started seeing this girl called Claire. She was in the Royal Signals. Oh, no, she was about to join the Royal Signals. She was from Sheffield. We went to school together. And I got on seeing her one weekend, and she said, right, so I'm off to join the army this weekend. I'm leaving. And I was like, what? I didn't actually know she was doing this. So I thought, fuck it, I'll do that as well. And that's why I joined the army. And I went down to the careers office where she'd joined in Sheffield.
So did you join the army to follow her?
Yep.
Okay.
Proper stalker. Yeah. And I was in the careers office, and he said, so what do you do? What do you do now for a living? Like, what do you want to join? I said, well, I'm a car mechanic at the moment. And he said, right, well, the REME would make sense to you. So you can come and be a mechanic in the forces. So you can join the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Now, when you join the forces, you get what's called a barb test, which is an intelligence test. They say intelligence test. You literally watch this ball fly across a screen, and then it disappears, and you have to guess when it's going to hit the ground the other side. And that's the intelligence test for the military. I know it sounds fucking mental, but that is what it was. And I failed it. So they said you can't join that, but you can have a stab at the Royal Engineers, because they have car fitters in the Royal Engineers. So I did that as well. And then they found out I had 14 points on my licence, so they said, you can't be a fitter. So you're going to have to be an artisan trade, which is bricky, plasterer, sparky, whatever. He said, which do you fancy? And I was like, sparky, that'll do. That was what I chose. So I sit this intelligence test again, and he said, you can't be a sparky. And I'm like, fucking hell, what can I be? And he went, bricky, which tells you a lot about brickies. So he let me be a brickie, because I couldn't work out when a ball was going to hit the ground when it disappeared over going a wall. I don't know how they worked that out, but that's how it was.
See, if they'd have said it was a brick,
yeah.
you'd have been fine.
Yeah. And that's how I ended up being a brickie. So I served 14 years as a Royal Engineer, did my trade straight away. They do it as part of your training. So it was 14 years. I won't say time served because it weren't full time on the tools. There's lots of in and out, but most of the tours I did were construction tours.
Okay. Which tours did you do? Or where did you
Cyprus, Kosovo, Bosnia, Jamaica. I know that sounds like a holiday when it was, but we went to do a refurbishment of a school up there. I was on the trial for that. And then when 2008, I got sent to... No, sorry, 2008 is when let me get this year right. It was 2003. I got deployed to Cyprus on a tour for lads launching missions into Iraq. So we were part of the forward operations mountain-based team. So we're setting up camps and training areas for special forces and such like who were going into Iraq and Afghanistan it was Iraq at the time, sorry. Yeah, so they were going into Iraq and we were setting up training areas for them in Cyprus and in Jordan as well. And I had a little smuggling racket going through northern Turkey, through northern Cyprus, through southern Cyprus and back to the UK. And I got caught.
So you were doing that while you were in the army?
Yeah. So I got caught off the Cypriot authorities at Paphos airport, and they sentenced me to 2 years suspended sentence in...
was that military? Or?
No, I was in a Cypriot civilian jail. And I served 2 weeks of this sentence, and then an amazing lawyer got me out and basically bought me out of jail. And that 2 weeks was probably the hardest 2 weeks of my fucking life. That was, you see it in the movies where like people are put in shithole jail cells in foreign countries. It literally was like that. No fucking floor. People cutting themselves to get out, and it was horrendous. Like
I wouldn't have
proper
thought it had
scene
been
out
like
of a
that in
movie.
Cyprus.
In 2003 it was.
Was this a Greek or the Turkish
This
side?
was the Greek side.
Okay.
So the southern side. The jail was actually in Paphos. But when I came out, I was in front of the sergeant major, and he was like, "Look, we can't. You've been served time now, so you've been punished. You've been awarded a punishment. So the army can't do you as well. They have this double jeopardy rule where you can't be done twice for the same thing.
Okay.
So the only thing they could have done before was bringing the army into disrepute, which they chose not to do. So I was a good soldier. I just got caught smuggling, and they sent me back to UK for what I've said this before on podcasts, and I've had loads of shit in the comments, but fuck it, I'll say it again. It was a punishment posting for me to go to training regiment. It's not something I wanted to do, and they said, right, well, that's what you're going to go and do, like, because you don't want to do it. So I became a training instructor and taking recruits through training. Great for your career. I hated it myself personally, and it was because of that I probably left. So I did that for a couple of years and decided this is not for me anymore. Like, what can I go and do in my life? So I decided I want to go back into the construction industry, but back up north, because I was based in Gibraltar Barracks in Surrey at the time. So I said, right, let's go up north and see what's what. So I went up and got a job as a construction project manager for a refurbishment contractor, and I served probably 6 or 7 years with them, doing decent home standard refurbishment. So it's kitchens, bathrooms, plastering. I was the manager of these projects, and I probably did about 1,500 to 1,600 properties in that time, managing various different trades in a really, really sort of stressful, high risk environment. I don't mean high risk as in physically, as in financially. And it was through 2018, 2019 when we had the financial collapse. Loads and loads of trades lost loads and loads of work. So we had a mass influx because this was government funded work, we had a mass influx of trades into our arena, if you like. And that was, being a main contractor, that was driving prices down massively, and everybody was in a race to the bottom at that time. So it was tough. It was tough getting the right people for the right money, because the decent guys wanted decent money. But all the shitbags would say, yes, we'll work for peanuts, to the quantity surveyors of the main contractors. And then it was left to the site managers like me to try and manage that situation and manage their quality and skill set. And it was really, really tough. I did that for 5 or 6 years. And then it was time for a move. So I moved to E.ON, the energy company. So that's who was based around this area, doing external wall insulation. That was also a tough gig. And I started hitting the bottle when I worked for them, like big time.
Okay.
That was, I I had sites in Scotland, Wales, Ipswich, the South Coast, Wick on the right at the Norfolk border. And I used to fly every day. I was on a different plane, flying around the country, managing different sites. Lots and lots of revenue coming through the business. It was really, really tough, really, really stressful. All the while, I'm a manager, trying to be one of the lads still. Still get stuck in that. I want everybody to like me thinking level. And that did not serve me at all. Trying to run multi-million-pound business and at the same time be one of the lads and be liked. So it was, it was tough. So I decided like the role is the thing that's making me booze. So I've got to fuck the role off.
Let's stop there a moment to say a massive thank you to our headline sponsors, Zinza. Now, Zinza understands the commitment and dedication and long hours it takes to get a job done right. That's why they make the paints and primers that pros trust to do their best work. Plus, if you're looking for support, you can also sign up for pro membership and you'll have access to Zinza's specification team. They make it easy to pick the right products and will work closely with you on site to deliver a solution that meets the highest standards. It's all part of what makes Zinza the mark of a pro. A big thank you to Zinza for continuing to support the Talking Tradesman podcast and helping us spread mental health awareness throughout construction and beyond. Now let's get back to the episode. Was that like, because you were doing a lot of moving around, Paul? So in terms of, it's one of the things, isn't it? Because I used to, some years ago now, probably 10, 12 years ago, we used to do national work. We did some insurance contracting. We were approved contractors for a few insurance firms. So we used to work all the way to the Scottish border, down to Plymouth. And it was all you did. So you'd work away for 2 weeks, but every night you end up in the boozer. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Because you're working away, and I used to take away teams of 4 or 5 lads. So I was responsible. I mean, the lads that I used to work with, I used to like say to them, either I can give you an allowance for your food and whatever, or I can just pay for it. Because I'll be honest, a lot of the lads were on their arse, so they've never got no money. So I'd say, look, I'll buy you dinner if you want, but obviously I'll just put your expenses in the end of the, essentially you're not getting any extra for your food and that, I'll just buy it. But what that did, it put me in a position where I had to go out every night. So every night I had to be out and buying the food and drink. And what do? Like you say, you end up then, before you know it, 2-3 weeks and you're on the piss every night.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was because I was going to a different site like literally every day. So I'm seeing one of my teams once a week. And as I said, I wanted to be liked. I wanted the lads to like me. I wanted to fit in, despite being their leader. And that's probably my biggest failing as a leader at the time, was trying to be liked and trying to fit in. Because in doing so, it becomes, well, how do I do that? How do I make them like me? Let's take them out for on the piss. But to them, that's one night a week. But to me, I had 5 sites. So that was 5 nights a week. And then I get home on a weekend, and of course, the family want to see me, and the family want to go out and have a drink, and I'm still fucking recovering from the entire week. And it got so bad. One of my flights was Wick to Humberside, down the East Coast Airways. And on East Coast Airways flight, I used to catch that on a Friday, because I used to try and make Wick my Friday visit and then fly back to Humberside. Booze was free on that flight, and I used to get as much in my fucking body as possible. Like 2 bottles of red and 2 pints in a 1.5 hours flight, just to get my money's worth. Then I get back for the weekend, like hanging out on the Friday. Wife would pick me up from Humberside Airport, and we go straight to the pub because I've not seen her all week. And of course, Friday turns into Saturday, and then Sunday you're prepping to go back again, and you get your bag packed. Let's just go and have a quick one before we go back, and I'm getting slaughtered with the missus. And my missus was just as bad. And we did that for, it must have been 4 years I was like that.
Really?
Yeah, every single day. Like an average day for me was 5 pints of beer, a bottle of red, half a bottle of Jack. That was the average.
That was a normal day.
That was a normal day, yeah. And I wouldn't say that I ever saw that situation and gone, you've got a problem. I never recognised it as a problem at all. It obviously is on reflection and looking back, but at the time you never sort of become aware of it. Like, you don't become aware of a problem until it's a problem, right? I didn't see weight coming on. I just didn't see it at all. And I went away on a training course. It was the 22nd of September 2018. I remember I've got the date tattooed on my arm. And I'm sat in this course, and a lad that was on the course, he'd not seen me since we left the forces, so it would have been about 12 years. First thing he said to me was, "Fuck me, you've put some weight on." And I was like, "You fucking what?" I was proper offended. I'd not seen it. And I thought, you know what, he's right. And I did this training course. And then that night, I was in the hotel. It was a real heavy training course. It finished the first night. It finished at like 9 p.m. And I was so tired, I just went to bed. And I woke up the next morning like, ooh, this is a strange feeling. Like, I didn't have a drink last night. I'm sober. And I rang my wife at home and told her that I'd not had a drink that night. And she said, neither have I. And it was like, that's weird, isn't it? We didn't think anything of it. And I just repeated that all week. We got to the end of that week and I went back home because it was a week-long course. And I went back home and we've got a bar in our house and it's full of single malts from what I'd been collecting whilst being in Scotland and beer and all the rest of it. And I said to her, I'm not going to drink anymore. Fuck it. Like, I'm done. And she went, yeah, me too. So we just tipped all the beer away, the stuff that was the thing I always craved. And that always went into the whiskey and went into the wine. I never started on that. And once the beer had gone, for the first month, it didn't bother me at all. But then it was, I'm missing it now. So I went for a real struggle and challenge for the following, I would say, 12 months to 18 months.
Were you missing
the taste?
You were missing the taste, not the social elements.
I often get that question. I never liked being pissed, but I love the taste of beer. Absolutely, and I still have that now.
Okay.
I can look at a pint now. If there was a pint on that table, I could look at it and taste it just by looking at it. It's a really pungent beer that I used to drink.
Which one was it?
Brewdog Punk IPA.
Okay, so
grapefruity.
Yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
And if I smell it, I can really, really taste it. So I just don't go to pubs anymore. I don't want to be around it. I don't want to.
So you're still sober now, as in you don't drink at all?
7.5 years now.
Well done, man. Yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
There's more and more people that I speak to. Me personally, I do drink, but really sporadically, mate. But I was, my dad was a drinker. I say my dad was a drinker. I grew up, it was an issue. And I grew up around that.
Yeah.
And it's put I've got a deep fear in me because I know that I think I've got that trait where I could go that way. So I'm always very conscious after, Christ, a couple of weeks ago, was it last week? I'll lose track of time. Went away for a week. Went to Portugal with a wife and there wasn't any heavy drinking, but even just going out for a meal and having a couple of 2-3 pints, after a few days, I was like, "Ooh, that's a few days now where I've drunk alcohol."
Yeah.
So I'm like hyper conscious of it myself. But yeah, it's there's more and more people that I'm speaking to that are moving away from it, and even me, I've started to think now, 2 pints will give me a hangover, Paul. Look, when I was a kid, I could drink like a fish. Now, if I have 2 beers, I feel different when I wake up in the morning. And it's that, is it really worth it?
Yeah. It's interesting you say that about people moving away from it. My son is now 20. Is he 20? 19, 20? 19 or 20. I should really know that. He's 20. And he don't drink.
Yeah.
And he's never drank. And I find that really, really fucking odd.
Yeah.
And he's in the paras as well, so it makes me go.
That is odd. Yeah.
And I say to him, he goes, "Oh, no one's bothered. Everyone's in the gym, and people are more into fitness these days." And and I do find it strange that he's an 20-year-old.
Culture's changed, Paul. So my son's
definitely.
18, and he does drink now. And in fact, he's been drinking this weekend, but it's quite rare. The same thing, like him and his mates will just as easily meet up and go to the gym on a Saturday night than go to... I think culture's changed, mate. The pubs aren't what they used to be. They're not the social spot that they used to be. Because you could go really deep into it, but now because of social media and mobile phones, we're all connected. You don't have to be in one place. Like when I grew up and you grew up, if you wanted to go and meet your mates, you actually had to physically be with them. You know what I mean? So where do you physically go and meet?
Yeah.
There aren't that many places, are there, other than pubs? And the culture was different. It was, I think, even just like physical fitness, there was, I guess, in amongst my mates, when I look back, because I always used to play football, like football Sunday league, but that turned into a drinking thing because you would only play in the morning because you knew you'd go to the pub after the game. But you'd look at lads that were in great shape and they'd be referred to as like fucking gym rats. They got no life.
Yeah.
Whereas now that's the norm. So I think culture, maybe in that respect, it has changed for the better.
Yeah, definitely. I have a friend that says if alcohol was invented today, it'd be illegal straight away.
Yeah, God, yeah,
100%.
of course it would.
Yeah.
There's not.
No good ever
Yeah.
came from having it, and no one ever regrets not having it.
Yeah.
That's the
That's a very good fucking point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put weight on, you fucking smell. It kills your heart, and it costs a fortune.
And as I'm sure you know, mate, with everything that you do and the businesses that you run, it completely kills your productivity.
100%. Like, absolute game changer.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. It's if I was still boozing now, I wouldn't be where I am now. Like, nowhere close.
So 7.5 years, not a drop.
Not a drop.
Fair play, man.
Not even alcohol-free beer.
And that all came from
That guy
that
telling
day,
me.
and that's why you've got that tattoo on you. The date where you stopped. Fair play, man. That's a big thing. Again, in our industry or surrounded with the construction industry, it's another one of the big problems.
Yeah, definitely.
We talk about the statistics around mental health in construction, and a big part of that is the culture, because it is a drink and drug culture. It's not just drink; it's the drink leads to lads getting a bag in, and then the spiral for the weekend, and then rinse and repeat. So
yeah, I think there's a level of toxicity as well around that culture. In when I was first stopping, I had lads' cards in working for me, and they were all, I've stopped. I'd say I've stopped drinking, and they get, oh, don't be a pussy, fucking man up, just have one. That is such toxic fucking behaviour.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they can't do it. They can't stop. They don't see the benefit in stopping, so they don't want me to. And I think that's so typical of tradespeople. That so typical.
I agree, mate. It's the problem is when you change your behaviour, it shines a light on others.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
and a lot of people don't want to be under that spotlight.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think back, same as me, man. When I grew up, so I was born '84, and when I was in my early 20s, like me and my mates, I'm still mates with them now, like lads from schools, like 15 of us still in contact. A night out was, I've said this a few times, was never to go for a drink and be social. It was to get smashed.
Yeah, 100%.
Or in my area, it was phrased to get paralytic.
Yeah.
Like get absolutely obliterated and end in a fight.
Yeah.
That was like a normal weekend night out. It was almost like gospel. That was what was going to happen.
chilled. That's what we used to call it.
The what? Sorry.
Get film chilled.
Get film. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Upside down, like fucked. And the
that was
one
it.
that could drink the most was the hardest. They were the best.
Yeah.
Crazy,
All the
innit?
things we used to do, man. I mean, like in the town I used to live in, it was like there was the Golden Mile, and I think there were 18 pubs, and it was we'd do a pint in each and a different pint in each. You'd be on Guinness, you'd be on cider, horrible mixes.
Yeah.
And the person that made it to the end and was still drinking, oh man, they were legendary.
Yeah.
Like, it was lauded. But you look back now and it's like, fucking hell, that was...
I bet them 18 aren't there anymore, though.
No, Christ, no.
Yeah. We used to have one. We had one in
not at all.
the town I live in, Brig. That used to be loads of pubs there. I think there's only 6 or 7 now.
I would say from that 18, mate, if there was a third left, most of them have been either bulldozed and turned into flats. There's one that's now a Tesco Express. Other ones that have been turned residential, there's very few left out of that 18. In fact, where we are now in this little town in Stourport is one of the few places that has still got quite a vibrant nightlife in terms of pubs. A lot of the pubs around here, they're not brewery, they're all independents, and there's like microbreweries, and there's a lot of live music around here. There's a bit of a culture of live music. In fact, the pub a few doors up until very recently, was owned by Robert Plant's daughter. So he was always in there. So there's there's a bit of a different culture around here. It's a bit like going back in time 10 years.
Yeah.
But that said, we like I say, I don't go out very often.
Yeah.
I used to look at weekends, and if I hadn't had a drink, it wasn't a weekend. I'd be fuming. If I got to Monday and I hadn't been out on either the Friday or Saturday night, I'd missed a weekend. That was in my mind. I'd missed the weekend.
Yeah.
But it's probably the other way around though. It's a rarity. Like I haven't had a drink this weekend at all. In fact, I haven't had a drink since I got back off holiday. But I don't. There's no need for it for me.
Yeah, people on that as well. People behave. I don't want to say weirdly, but people can behave completely different around me, knowing I'm sober and knowing my background. Like, if I go to the pub, if I was to go in a pub and my mates came in, they'd all drink water.
Really?
Yeah, it's bizarre to watch it happening. It's really weird.
They'd not want to drink around you.
Yeah, it's strange. And I guess it's because I don't know, they don't want to tempt me, offend me, and it doesn't do any of that. There's no impact on me anymore. But it did do for a long time. As I say, we've just come back from Cyprus, where we've hosted a business development retreat over there, and all of the clients that came over, I would say 9 out of 10 of them were drinkers because they drank on the night. But in the day, it's their retreat. I'm hosting it, but it's their retreat. They're the ones that have paid to be there. So we had beer in the fridge for them for one at dinner time, and when they finished, not one beer had got drank. Well, the whole time we were there. Wow. And I set the frame when they get there. I say, look, you may or may not be uncomfortable drinking around me. Like, don't just forget it. Forget that I'm teetotal. If you want to have a beer, have a beer. It's in the fridge. Not one person had one. And you can look at that and go, is it respect? You can look at it and go, do they feel strange? Like, do they feel uncomfortable? Do they not want to drink because I don't drink? And there's lots and lots to unpack when you're in that situation.
I think, me personally, so my own view on that, if I'd paid to go on a business retreat with you, I would want to absorb as much as I could. I'd want to get maximum value, so I'd want all the information, the knowledge, everything that you teach, I'd want to pull in. And I know for me, the minute I have one beer, I'm taking my brain from like 6th gear down into 3rd. 2 beers, I'm in 1st gear, mate. Forget it. Like, I'm not really absorbing what's around me. I know it slows down my mental capacity. I know what it does to me. It dulls me. So maybe there's a bit of that.
Maybe there's that.
Think,
You know, I didn't want to explore it and make, because you explore it and people like do the counter, then they just get fucking smashed. Oh, I'll show you.
While you're drinking, I'll have the whole fridge. Look at all that.
So we just left it, and it was, But no, it was a good event. It's a good event.
We'll get onto all this, mate, because I want to delve into what you do, and then also get some perspective and tips and advice and that, because I know your speciality is helping other businesses grow.
Yeah,
and particularly in the trades industry. And I know I've seen your socials. I've seen you're quite direct with the way that you approach certain things.
Yeah.
There's certain topics, mate. Money is always divisive. You're always going to get people kicking off whenever you talk about money. And
that's why I talk about it.
Exactly.
That's
the whole profit and day rate conversation, but I want to get onto all that. But before we get to that, I want to find out how you made that jump from running your own business, getting to that point where you were doing what you were doing. How did you make that transition over to starting a coaching?
So it was born out of anger and frustration. My construction business was delivering refurbishment services to property investors. And my background, I'm sure we've talked about it already. We've mentioned military in my corporate. We haven't we? I do that many years. I forgot already.
Yeah, we did that.
So my background was military and then corporate construction. So my background was quite simply structure and discipline in a nutshell. And I gone in when I set my own business up, working for property developers. It wasn't that. It was the opposite. It was brown envelopes. It was fag packets. It was cash.
Chaos.
It was dodging VAT. It was disorganised, and it drove me fucking mad. And I was like, I can't fucking function like this. This is not happening. So I was on holiday in Turkey with the wife in 2018. I was in a place called what was it called? Side. It's spelt Side, but I think they pronounce it Side. Side. And I'm walking down the beach, and I was having a good old moan to the wife, and she'd just had enough of me, and she said, "You need to do something about this because you're doing my nutting." And it was like, what am I going to do about this? Right, you either shut up, shut the business, or teach them how to do it properly. Teach them how to run a job properly. And I was like, I don't fancy doing any of that. And she goes, well, shut the fuck up then, because I'm sick of hearing you. And it was like, do I do this training thing? And she goes, look, you're a military training instructor. You like helping people. And this is you feel really strongly about this. I can tell you do. So let's do something about it. And I was like, no, I don't know. And she went, well, I'll do something about it then. So she booked a hotel in Hull and announced that we were putting on a conference for property developers where they could all come along and get some top tips on how to run a construction job. Because these property developers, they're just all raising finance, hire a builder, complete the job, refinance. In a nutshell, that's the process. But the bit in the middle, the jam in the sandwich, if you like, is the work, it's the refurb. And as you and I both know, that can go pear-shaped in a moment's notice.
Of course, yeah.
That can go backwards like that. But when you're not aware of the things that could possibly go wrong, and you're not putting protection measures or risk management measures in place, both financially and physically, around delivering a job, like, you're wholly running at risk at all the time. So I put this presentation together, and 30 people turned up to this event. And I delivered what I wanted to deliver in terms of a talk. And I didn't have anything else after it. It was like, that's my talk, and that was the end of it. And this lad came over and he was like, that was really helpful, that. What, like, how can we learn more? And I didn't have anything. And I went, I'm going to put a course on. And this was in in October. Back here, 3-day course, project management course. And he went, I'll buy that. I said, I told you how much it is. And he went, well, how much is it then? And I said, $999. So I made it $1,000. And he went, he got his card out and he paid there and then. He went back to his table and 8 other people then came over and bought the same thing. And the course didn't even fucking exist. So I made this dough on the day and I thought, there's something in this. There's a demand for this. There's a real need. So I went away, wrote the course, delivered the training, and then I announced I was doing another one, and that became my sales process. My sales funnel became event, course. I think I did 4 of them. And then COVID hit, which I completely ignored and carried on doing it anyway. And in doing so, I did this for about 3 years. That was 2018, so 2021. During this process, me training property developers to run a construction project, I had construction companies come to me for the same training, which blew my fucking mind. I was like, what? You don't know how to run a job? And they were like, mate, I'm just good at running a trowel or a fucking brush.
Do you know what, Paul? That is a really good point, mate, because that is epidemic in the construction industry. That whole jump from good tradesperson to business owner.
Yeah.
And there's so many people you hear and they're like, well, I've learnt the skill now, so I'm going to run my own business. And it's like, why do you think you can just go from being exceptional at your trade to running a business without any extra training?
Yeah.
And it's not saying that people should stay working for other companies. You want to run your own business, absolutely do that. But you need to learn all the other bits. You need the marketing, the organisation, the structure, the sales, the accounting. There's all this stuff that people just don't even pay any attention to.
Don't. It's the analogy I used to use was it's like a chef running the restaurant. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, makes good food, therefore should own a restaurant.
Yeah, that's just not true. Chef's your skill set.
Yeah,
cook fucking food.
Yeah,
and unless you're going to upskill and train
1,000,000%, mate. And it's where so many people go so wrong.
Yeah,
and like that other demographic that you've mentioned, though, the property investment. I mean, I would imagine that's even more rife because in a lot of occasions with property development, it's people that have got a bit of spare capital.
Yep.
And they actually haven't got even any of the trade skill either. They're just we'll do this house up.
Yeah, because I saw Homes Under the Hammer whilst
we'll make
drinking
it
my
look
Shiraz
pretty.
Yesterday.
Exactly that. Yeah. Mate, I had this conversation only recently with a job that we were moving into. A job keeps getting put back, funnily enough. Customer was complaining about how much extra it had cost, the delays, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, who's been your site manager? Well, what do you mean? Who's been the site manager? Essentially hadn't had a site manager. The customer had felt that they could manage it all. But as you know, like within the trades, you've got some good people that will point people in the right direction. Then you've got a lot of trades that will turn up and be like, that's my job. Yeah, yes, you've asked me to come and put those cables in now. I know that it shouldn't be done now because this and this needs doing. But you've employed me to do it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And we get this, like in the decorating industry, I get it all the time. We get people book us in and then you turn up and you're like...
It's not even been plastered.
Yeah, well, hopefully not that far. But there's other things where you look and you think, the minute you do that, it's going to fuck all this up.
Yeah.
Best example, recently I did a hand-finished kitchen, very high-end finish, and there was still... I advised the client, look, we come in last, you get us in at the end of the job when everything else is done, which I was assured was going to be the case, and then you turn up and it was just chaos. Customer insisted on having the job done, warned them of all the problems, and then 3 weeks later I get pictures come through, this has been damaged, that's been damaged, this has been... and it's stuff like that where, it's all you can remedy it, but people won't pay for a site manager because they see it as somebody being on site that isn't working physically. But the amount of money and time they can save by having a good site manager will vastly, will pay for
A
itself.
good site manager should be cost neutral. Same for a QS.
Exactly
same for
that.
a PM. And when I say cost neutral, I mean the efficiencies or the savings that individual would make for the organisation or the project should pay that fee.
How often do you see it though, where you might have skilled tradespeople, but the person running the job is a complete amateur or somebody with even zero construction knowledge?
In the property space, I see it regularly. But generally speaking, in fairness to them as an industry, it only happens once. They generally fuck it up once, and then they go, I ain't doing that again. It creates so much stress because in property development, money is the driver. Yeah, so the longer a project endures, the more it costs them. Because generally speaking, a property developer will use borrowing to deliver a job. If it's a 200 grand, 300 grand job, they're paying significant amounts of interest for non-productivity when a project is being delivered. So they've really got to nail it. And what usually happens is, it's how property developers would generally come towards me. They go, I've just done this job and I've had a fucking nightmare and I've lost 40 grand. Can you help me on the next one? And that's usually how it goes. So I give them the skill set to be able to run one on a timeline and run one efficiently, run one without wasting resources and time. And, the transformation in that person, both financially, mentally and academically, becomes like it's night and day. But coming back to the trades, it's exactly the same. I was getting these trades gravitating towards me from the construction industry, and it blew my mind that they were in the industry and didn't know how to run a job. Yes, they know how to lay a brick or plaster a wall or wall up a house out. They knew how to do all that. But that's not running a business, as you just said. And as these trades started coming towards me, I ran one project management course, and every single person on it was from the trades. And I was like, this is fucking weird.
You lot should all know this.
Yeah, this is your industry. You're learning how to be in your industry. And I talked to people about compliance and regulations and CDM, and you get trades to look at you and go, "What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is." I ran a summit yesterday, a trade summit yesterday, and I was running through a model where we need to separate between revenue and profit. And went up. This lad's hand went up, and I went, "Yes, mate." Anyway, what's the difference? And I was like, I can't. Sometimes you said at the start of the podcast, I'm direct, and I can't hold it in. Sometimes I wish I could think first before I speak, and I go, "Are you taking the fucking piss?" And they go, "No, that's why I'm here." And I go, "You're running a business, and you don't know the difference between revenue and profit." And they go, "No." And you explain it, and they go, "Oh, right, yeah, that makes sense." And I go, "How much did you turn over last year?" 600 grand. You did 600 grand in sales and you don't know the difference between revenue and profit. And you go, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
What's your accountant doing? I ain't got an accountant. And you're like, what? How? I just use zero. And you're like, mate, what the fuck? And it was through this experience that it was like, all these businesses that are coming towards me, they fucking don't just need my help in terms of delivering a job. They need to know how to run a business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and go, how are you marketing your services? Word of mouth, like the classic. What's your sales process? Well, if they don't like it, lump it. And you're like, whoa, mate, fucking sort it out. How do you pre-qualify your clients? Well, I don't. I price up everything. You never know when the next big job's coming in. And there was a guy yesterday, and I tell you something else as well. I'm just going to go off on tangents now.
Please do.
I had a lad consultate. He came on a half-day consultation. Was it last week? Week before last. He was a landscaper, and he came to me and he said, "My problem is I need more leads." And I said, "Before we solve that problem, let's make sure we're solving the right problem." What do you mean? I said, "Let's make sure we're solving the right problem first, because people often come to me with a perceived problem that's not the actual problem." I said, "What is it that makes you think you need more leads?" "Because I've got no work." "All right, okay. How many leads did you get last month?" He gets his diary out. 32. "You got 32 leads?" He went, "Yeah." "So what makes you think you need more leads?" "It's because none of them turned into sales." I was like, "Right. So how many sales did you make from the 32? He went, 1. So you made one sale from 32 leads and you think you need more leads? Yeah. So if I got you 32 more leads by those metrics, you're going to get one extra sale. Is that what you're prepared to do? Go and get 32 more leads to make one more sale? Oh, I've never thought of it like that. So tell me about your sales process. He said, well, I go around, I visit, and I tell them there and then how much it's going to be. And they usually haggle, and I tell them to fuck off. And I'm like, mate, lead generation is not your fucking problem. Yeah. Your sales process is your problem.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought about that. Well, I'm not negotiating. And it's like, you need to negotiate. I'm not negotiating. Price is the price. And I go, mate, when you go to the merchants, do you just pay what's on the ticket? Well, no. Well, what do you do? So I haggle and I have a bit of sport and a bit of banter with the branch manager and I get best price for everything. And I said, but your clients aren't allowed to do that. And he was like, oh, fucking hell, you've got me. You've got me with that. Like, mate, negotiations are part of life. You've just got to get good at it. Yeah, you don't need to give discounts. Negotiations and discounts are two different things. You need to know the difference. And we had a bit of a coach back and forth. I said, tell you what, give me your phone. He's going, oh, you can't have my phone. There's all sorts in it. I said, all right, give me some numbers out your phone of them leads that you've got now. So I rang one of these leads for him and rebooked in another sales visit for him. Did a bit of coaching with him, showing him what to do, how to present his quote, how to break it down, how to present it. And we did some more back and two. Anyway, he went back to that customer a week. The consultation was 2 weeks ago, and this revisit he had it would have been last Wednesday. 40 grand job, closed it there and then. Just from changing his sales process. But his thought was, I need more leads. Yeah. I get so many people say it.
It's a bizarre one, Paul, isn't it? That you would run a business and not actually consider that you have to be a salesperson.
And it's what the sales skills I see in the trades is fucking diabolical.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the trades for that in any way, shape or form. Most trades enter the industry by not being very good at school. They left at 15, 16, worked out that they could start throwing shit on walls and charge money for it, and that's it. They're in business. And no one ever teaches them, or they don't go and educate themselves on financial acumen, on sales process, on sales skills, presentation, customer care, marketing, qualification, contracting, contracts. And none of that exists in their skill set and their repertoire of knowledge. So they're left to using things like Siri and fucking Rocket Lawyer, and you're like, mate, none of that's ever going to wash for you. It's not. You can't learn this stuff on YouTube. You just can't. You need to come and get some fucking business training.
Such a massive gap, mate. The more you're talking about it, the more it's like, it is exactly. Most trades' routes into business is to get good at their trade.
Yep.
And then decide they're in business.
Yeah.
With no middle bit, no further training, no business training. It's bizarre.
It is.
It really is.
And I'll tell you the worst businessmen in the trades, them that are exceptional at what they do. Because they think that that's the thing that makes the money. And like perfectionists in the trades, I know this landscaper lives by me. Like he is on another fucking planet when it comes to like the finish. It's got to be just so. Like, and that's an admirable trait. But he's never going to grow a business being like that.
Yeah,
he just didn't. And he'll run over by 2-3 days on a job just to make it absolutely crystal perfect, like beyond the client's expectations, beyond his staff's expectations, and down to the standard he wants to set himself, which is admirable and is fine. But it's not profitable. I believe that the best construction businesses are them that weren't that good on the tools. I'm one of them. I weren't the world's best brickie by a long chalk. When I went back on the trowel, I'm an okay brickie. And my first realisation of me being an okay brickie was when I hired one. So I was the dog's bollocks before I hired one. Like no one could do it like me. I was the best at everything. And then my first hire was a brickie. So I brought a brickie into the business and I was like, holy fucking shit. I'm like wank. I'm not letting him see my work compared to what he was turning out. And I'm charging him out at $320 a day. This was in 2018. And I'm charging him out at $320 a day and I'm paying him by the hour. And it was like, this is a no-brainer. So I just then scaled that company using all the different trades, and I had a multi-trade team that we could do HMO conversions, flat conversions, full refurbs, and I could run multiple ones at once. And I, as the business owner, can forget the fact that I'm a brickie and and remind myself my skill set from my corporate career is actually project management and business acumen. And it's through them skill sets and developing them skill sets over the years that I'm able to look at a situation and a business and go, right, it's the business that needs to grow.
That's a really good point, mate. I hope when people are listening to this, there's a few light bulbs going off as well in heads, because I don't know, social media has a little bit of a part to play as well, where certainly in my industry, I can speak for my industry, people get fixated on one-upmanship within the work they're turning out. But like you say, you've got people that would class themselves as, you know, the best decorator in the country or whatever, the best brickie in the country, the best plasterer. But how's your business looking? You know, what profit lines are you making? What money are you taking home? How many hours are you putting in? You know,
they're all important questions that no one wants to put the mirror up and ask.
Yeah.
You know, what are you avoiding? What's the question? Like anybody listening to this, what's the question you need to ask yourself about your business's performance that you're avoiding right now? Like, answer that question yourself now. It's tough. It's a tough one to answer. And you know, so many trades businesses that I meet and come across will sit down, and the first thing they'll say to me is, I need to put my prices up. And I go, what makes you think that? Because I need to earn more money. That's the fucking last thing you need to do, is put your prices up. You need to get more efficient in the service that you've currently got. That's what you need to do. No one is going to go from 250 a day to 300 a day and make more profit. That's not going to fucking happen, because your sales volume will reduce as an impact of you putting your price up like that. It will impact your confidence, and you'll put your price back down again. That'll impact your confidence even more. And it's a really wanky way to do business, by just putting your prices up. It's nonsensical.
I mean, one of the things my pet hates is hearing the amount of people that fixate on that rate, though.
Yeah, no.
The day rate. I'm
crazy.
on 200 a day. I'm on 300 a day. I'm on whatever it might be. Because there's this glass ceiling. Self-limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
But there's a glass ceiling, I think, around the 250, 300 mark. If you would say to somebody, I'm on £500 a day, my business is pulling in £500 a day, fuck off, no way, blah, blah, blah. But then you break it down to your business running costs and your overheads and all that kind of thing. But this is the incredible thing to me, is that people, like you said, that chap that came to your conference, is people don't understand profit versus, you know, business profit versus day rate. This fixation on, I want 250 a day, but then go home and they have to take all their costs out of their 250.
It's madness. That is fucking madness.
But I see it so often, Paul.
Me too.
You get people turn around and they go, it's shit being a whatever, you know, but it's shit being a tradesperson. I'm earning all this money. I've still got no money when I get home. I'm getting paid $250 a day, and I'm still skint. Well, that's because you're not getting paid $250 a day, mate. Like, your $250 a day is covering your fuel and your insurances and your tools. And I've had these conversations so many times. Like me, myself, I used to do a bit of business coaching as well. You know, how long ago was that? About 8-9 years ago now. I did nearly 2 years of it. It was taking up too much of my time, so I moved on. But I had these similar conversations where, you know, you got this whole thing, well, £200 a day. Right. So if your dustless sanding system over there breaks, who's buying that? Who buys a new one? Well, I do. Out of what? Your day rate. Like, the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And you talk to people, and just having that conversation, mate, when people talking about pricing, and you have the conversation about okay, I'm going to go and do this job. It's 5 days. I want 200 quid a day. So there's £1,000. Okay, so what's your profit? £1,000. It fucking ends.
Yeah.
Like, what? And trying to get that across, it's really hard work at times.
It is,
People just don't understand business profit and wages are two separate things. And they just pull the two in and then wonder why they've got no money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it stunts things on a few different levels, so Paul, doesn't it? Because if you're not making any business profit, then you can't reinvest, you can't grow.
Correct.
You know, you can't, like, again, I can use my industry as a good example. Technology is evolving very quickly. So we've got like new dustless sanding systems and spray systems and things like that. If you've got no business profit, you're very unlikely to look at your bank account on your £200 a day and go, I'm going to go and spend £4,000 on a sprayer because that's coming out of your wage or what you perceive to be your wage. Yeah. If you're making business profit, then the business can pay for the new systems and sprayers, and then you're increasing your productivity, and therefore you're increasing your money.
Mm. Yeah. It's mate, financial management in a business is like, it's the fucking fundamental, basic thing you've got to have. And when people don't even understand just the terminology and the language, like you've got to know this. You got to know this stuff if you're in business. Otherwise, just go get a job.
Yeah.
Like 90% of people I come across shouldn't be in business.
Yeah. Exactly the same, mate. I agree with that. There's a part of me sometimes, because I've various things that I've got going on, I look at some people sometimes and I think I would love to have that mindset just for a bit, just to chill. Just be like, I could quite, just get a 9 to 5, turn up. Yeah. My dad was one of them, if I'm honest. So I'm a third generation decorator. My granddad started the business in the 60s. My dad was a painter. The difference, my granddad was a businessman. My dad was a painter and decorator. And like for the last however many years he was in business, he worked for me. But he literally would be like, Russ, just tell me where to go, what I've got to do. I don't want nothing to do with dealing with customers and invoicing and quoting and material, all that lot. I just want to turn up, do my job. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a good tradesperson and getting paid what you're worth to work for somebody else.
Yeah.
Because running a business is fucking difficult.
Yep.
But if you get to do it properly. And in my opinion, investing in training, the kind of thing that you put on, that's vital.
Yeah.
If you don't know that information, but yes, there's going to be some upfront costs to pay for your workshops or your events or whatever it might be. But that's an investment in your business that you're going to multiply. You're going to 10x that if you absorb the information.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. You can come spend the day with us for 100 quid.
There you go. Yeah, probably the best 100 quid you could spend.
Yeah, and everybody says that. Everybody says that when they've been. So much so, like the one we had yesterday, like for me, and I guess this just comes from my experience and knowledge in the field. I'm just saying, like I'm doing now. I'm just talking. I'm just sharing information. I'm sharing a framework, and you can see the faces. They're like, "Fucking hell!" And then at the end, I go, how did you find the session? I'm so overwhelmed. I need to go and have a fucking lie down and say stuff like that. I'm like, for me, I've not given them half of, not even 1/10 of what I want to give them. I'm skirting over things, and it makes me feel sad but rewarded at the same time.
There must be a lot of penny drop moments.
Oh yeah,
where they sit there, and because the other thing is ego and pride will get in the way. You get people that you.
Yeah, because men don't ask for help, do they?
No. But it's the Facebook dinosaurs that roll around, and I've been in business when somebody feels the need to tell you how long
40 years.
How long
40 years in the trades.
Exactly.
Fuck off, mate.
When somebody needs to tell you how long they've been in business, you know they're about to talk shit.
Yeah.
They're just quantifying it by.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for 35 years.
Yeah, they're the type of people that still knock up plaster with a stick and a bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small example of that. So I put a video out last week on a product that anyone decorators will know. A product called Zinza Guards, which Zinza, headline sponsor of the podcast, by the way. Thank you. But using Zinza Guards to seal a wall before wallpaper in it. I have got under that 40 comments from people with pictures of cows as their Facebook profile. Right?
You don't need that shit.
Yeah. Well, it's called sizing. It comes in a little box and it's made of animal fat. It's like, fucking. And I started responding to a couple of comments and I got bored. But I was like, yeah, and we used to ride horses until cars were invented.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that sizing a wall is incorrect. Yeah, it's what you used to do 30 years ago. Yeah. It's what it used to work. Yeah. But now there's this product that takes half the time. It's quick and easy. It's uniform. It's perfect. It's purpose built to do the job. And people just want to argue that you should still be doing it the way that it was done 40 years ago, 30 years ago, because you're disrupting their
Yeah.
their reality.
Their
of,
comfort zone.
Exactly
You
that.
can't teach your old dog new tricks and all that nonsense. Yeah.
But the old dog resents the new tricks.
Yeah, it does,
That's the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Passionately resents what you're doing. And some of the comments was, "Oh, are you salesman for this? And you don't need that shit. It's cheaper to do it this way, that way." It's like, come on, man, just move with the times. But they don't. And you'll come up against that, obviously, with what you do, with that whole thing. Just because you've been running a business for 30 years doesn't mean you haven't been running a business for 30 years wrong.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And my absolute favourite one they come out with when we have a session is when they talk about the competition. This is my favourite one-liner. So it was an electrician. Last month session, he sticks his hands up in this lesson and he says, "Paul, how do I compete with someone I'm doing this job, I forget what the task was, I price it at 80 quid and they price it at 40. I looked at him and I gone, right. I said, how do I compete with that? I said, well, firstly, is it the same task? And he goes, well, yeah, I suppose it is. So how do I charge 80 when this other guy's charging 40? And I went, why are you 80 and he's 40? And he's gone, what do you mean? So if it can be done for 40, why are you 80? Why would the customer pay you 80? And he was going, well, I don't know. So, well, if you don't know, why would the fucking customer do that? Because they want to make it the customer's fault for buying the cheapest.
Yeah.
Well, of course they are. Tell me what you would do.
Yeah.
What would you do in that customer situation? You've got to explain why you're 80 and they're 40 if you want to get 80. And if you don't know that, then why would they pay 80? Like, you're answering your own question.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's,
Absolutely.
that is one of my favourites.
It's accountability, mate, isn't it? I mean, I've spoken to a few people. So, like my own example, I've positioned my business over the last 5-6 years. So I've done a few different things. We used to, like I say, do insurance contracting and lower end work. It was easier to have a bigger team, easier to manage. Expectations were different. Around about, what are we now, 2025? So probably 2018-ish, actually, started to push into high-end domestic, mainly because there's more money in that market, in my industry, but also my own personal, I guess, peace of mind, mental health, you want to bring that into it. It's just I now prefer working with a smaller team and doing higher end. I'll get more job satisfaction out of it myself. I know it's more difficult to build a business in that industry because people want exceptional finishes and it's hard to build a team. However, the way that I've compensated that is now I know that I'm in a market where the customer actually will resent the cheapest price. I refer to it as the Rolex watch wearer. There's nothing against Rolex watches, by the way. I'd love to have one. But it's the way I use that analogy is nobody wears a Rolex to tell the time. If you want to tell the time, you can have a £10 Casio.
Yeah.
You want a Rolex because it's what it says about you. So when it comes to my service, I want my clients to employ me because it says something about them, not me. And what that means is presenting myself in a certain way, that I present myself as a premium way. I present myself as a premium service. And as you said, from point of contact to sale, that's the way forwards. Yeah. I know for a fact some of my customers, I've overheard them talking to friends. Oh yeah, we've got a decorator in. Yeah, no, it's Russ. He's probably one of the most expensive about, but fucking brilliant. Like everything's on point. It's clean, it's friendly, on time. Not turning up smelling a Stella. It's all these things.
Yeah, it's the same analogy as the lay-by cafes where you go and pick a greasy burger up on your way into work in the morning. It's 99p. And you put that at the side of Five Guys. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
It's still a fucking burger at the end of the day.
Yes.
One's 99p and one's 20 quid.
Yeah.
Whatever they are in Five Guys.
You position yourself in the market. And when I was doing business coaching, I had the same conversation with a chap who was working down in London, and he was explaining he'd gone, I think at the time, he was pricing his work at like £140 a day, and he was skint. And I was like, well, I'm not surprised. Because that was to cover everything. I was like, so realistically, you're earning fucking 70, 80 quid a day, mate. Who can live on that? You're better off. And I said the same. If you're going to earn that, just go and work for a company.
Yeah.
And we got to this point, and all he did, he went and lumped his prices up, and then came back and was like, "Well, there's a problem now. I'm not getting work." And I went through the whole process of like, how are you presented when you turn up? And it was, it was turning up in a estate car, unwritten estate car, no work uniform, no branding, no logo, no website, no, he was turning up like the bloke out the pub, fag packet quotes and all that kind of thing. I was like, well, you're not going to earn that money looking like that. You're presenting yourself as the cheap cash in hand man. And if that's what you want to do, then fine.
Yeah.
But you're not going to compete against somebody that turns up in a van with a logo and clean workwear and, just keeping a clean hoodie in the van for absolute bare minimum. Keep a clean hoodie or jacket in the van that's branded just for quoting, as a minimum. And all these little things, it's first impressions with a customer. It's everything.
Yeah, definitely.
It's everything.
But there is a market for both. Let's be clear.
There is.
There is a market for man from the pub.
Yep.
20 quid cash and a Great Stella. There's a market. There are people that want that service.
And not only is there a market for them, we need them.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've said this before. My analogy when it comes to the trades in any industry is it's like a pyramid. There's the base layer is bigger and wider, and at the top, at the pinnacle, is less.
Yeah.
And that's how it has to be. And it's another thing that pisses me off when you see the social media, and particularly in the trades industry, we love to tear other trades down. It's one of the only industries where you can either be the best in the world or utter shit and nothing in between.
Yeah.
You are either utterly fucking useless or amazing.
Yeah.
There's no like. When have you ever seen a post and gone, yeah, that's an above average job?
yeah, you don't. Yeah, no, you're right.
No, it's just you're right, one or the other.
Yeah.
And you get people that get on their high horse and they want to tear everyone down for doing a bad job. And I'm sat there going, we need them guys.
Yeah.
We need those.
The people doing the tearing though will also be shit.
Always,
because nobody good slams anybody beneath them.
Yeah,
nobody does that.
Completely agree, mate. It's always they always shoot upwards, don't they?
Yeah.
But it's like you just said, we need those areas of the market covered. I mean, me and my business now, I'm selective with my customers to an extent. But if somebody will pay what I want, I'll work anywhere. But naturally, the way my business has evolved, I don't do a lot of 2 up, 2 downs. I don't work for a lot of Mr. and Mrs. Smith 3-bed semis. A lot of my customers are very wealthy now. But somebody still needs to paint Mr. and Mrs. Smith's 3-bed semi if they want that service. And there needs to be that level of the demographic to illustrate the difference between them and me. And that's part of my sales is having these guys knocking around. The guys that are turning up in the estate cars with no tools and equipment versus me turning up branded in the van with the dustless sanding systems and sprayers and all. There's got to be clear difference because like you said earlier, you have to illustrate to your customer why they're going to pay. Why they get paid more for this person versus that person.
And if everybody became high-end, nobody would be high-end.
Yeah,
it would just be the new norm.
It would be standard, and everyone would expect that service delivered. So it's vital.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. It's and that's one of the things. It's a weirdly tribal place, the trades industry, and I love to set on each other. Love to set on each other, and if you're not as good as me, you shouldn't be doing it at all. Like, fucking hell, what's going on? You want those competitors. It's like you don't see Waitrose trying to close down Aldi.
No, different market completely.
Exactly.
Great analogy. I used that one as well. Got it in before me.
Yeah, really.
That's why I mind that. Yeah.
No way. There you go. Great minds, Paul.
I actually did a video of it to show that as an example, and I went in. I did this on a live video in Lincoln. There's a Waitrose opposite an Asda, literally on the other side of the road from one another. And I went to Waitrose and bought some Cocoa Pops. They were £5.25. Then I went to Asda. They were £2, and I bought them from both places. And the purpose of the video was to show that Waitrose is not a rip-off. I had a 100% absolute choice to go into a premium supplier and buy a product that I could have bought cheaper elsewhere. That was the point of it. That was the point I was making. I don't believe that there is any such thing as a rip-off unless we're talking about criminals. Customers have always got a choice.
I agree.
They can say yes or no. And you can call me expensive by all means, but don't call me a rip-off.
Yep.
Because that hasn't happened. Rip-off that would be something criminal. If I'm saying to you, my consultancy fee, me personally, it's £1 a day. I'm not ripping you off. I've told you what it is in advance. You either pay it or you don't pay it.
Definitely, mate. I think the definition of a rip-off is to sell one thing and deliver another.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
That's it. If you deliver what you've sold at any given price, that's an agreement. I'm a big believer of that. It was one of the things I used to touch on a lot with my coaching. Same thing is knowing your value and delivering it.
Yeah, totally.
And exactly that. If a customer will pay a price and pay a premium to use you for whatever reason, and it could be anything. Like in the trades industry, it could be because you come across more trustworthy. People are going to leave you in the house in a lot of occasions, or in a business where there might be valuables. If you come across as trustworthy, that has value.
Yeah, totally.
So why not put a price tag on that?
Yeah, totally.
If you're going to present everything as a package, absolutely. None of us are doing this for the fun of it, are we? I know people enjoy their trades, they do, but I would love to see the trades industry. I've got a bit of a bee in my bonnet with it when it comes to like origins and education and the way that it's presented. You touched on it yourself. A lot of the people in the trades are the ones that struggled at school. I mean, to ask you the question, where do you see the future of the construction industry in the UK going?
Oh, I could go fucking deep.
Let's go deep, man.
Where do I see the future of the industry? I think we're going to see a lot more robotics in the future. I think we're going to see a lot more automated processes. You only have to watch have you ever watched Back to the Future, the movie?
Yeah.
Well, I remember watching that as a kid and thinking, fucking hoverboard. Look at that fucking phone. It all comes to reality. And I'm seeing AI videos now, they're not real yet, of machines laying block paved drives. I've seen robot plasterers. I'm seeing robot decorators, robot cleaners. Like, that is going to happen. Yeah, what people think of does come to reality in the future. And I definitely see the industry going that way. So what I see for the industry is the human beings will still be required in order to manage the robots, as it were. I just think the manual element, the labour element, will become more and more, I'm thinking like sort of 15, 20 years ahead, that will become more and more non-human installation, and we the humans will be the one managing the robots and programming the machines and things like that.
Yeah, I think that's where
I think it'll go.
I think it's a when, not if. I think as the industries go, I think the construction industry is safer than a lot of industries. I mean, there's industries now that are under huge threat by AI.
Oh, immediate threat. Yeah, of course.
You look at. I said this the other day. You look at some of the high-end jobs now, like solicitors. I've got a pocket solicitor now.
Planning consultants.
Yeah, anything like that.
Accountants.
What they say, ChatGPT holds an IQ of about 1,300.
Wow.
So, and you've got access for that for 20 quid a month on a premium plan. In fact, hands up here, I actually used ChatGPT last month to recover some money. All the legal forms, documents, all the legislation, boom.
Nice.
Worked a treat.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certain industries that are under severe threat immediately. Self-driving cars, your taxi drivers, haulage, anything like that.
That's happening now.
So I think the construction industry in that respect will probably be one of the later ones.
Yeah, I think we're a long way off it, but I think that is that will be the future.
Would you advise, say, youngsters coming out of school now, would you advise somebody to get into construction?
I've never been asked that before. I don't know what to say. Would I advise somebody to get into construction?
I'm amazed that nobody's ever asked you that.
Then, and I don't honestly, I hand on heart can't answer it because I've got too many pros and cons flying through my mind right now.
Give me some.
This is the first time I've ever been gobsmacked in my life, I think.
I'll take that as a win.
Yeah. So the pros to construction, it teaches you hard work is the first thing. It gives you a skill. You can grow a business from it. The cons being what's the longevity of that? Is there better industries that you could choose to go in? Yes. Does the industry need the youth? Yes. Does the industry need youth coming through now? Yes. Are people leaving at the back end of their career? People leaving faster than the youth are coming in? Yes.
10 to 1, isn't it? It was the last stats I heard, 10 out to 1 in. So anyone listening, there's a statistic for you. 10 people leaving the construction industry to every one person coming in. There aren't many industries out there that can sustain that. And then the government are promising we're going to build, 1.5 million houses in
Don't get me fucking started on them fucking weapons, honestly.
Seems like a good subject to get you started on, Paul.
Fucking hell, you're going to set me off now. They set this target of 1.5 million homes, and the fucking system that we have to conform to build these homes is outrageous. We have a planning submission that takes fucking months to draw up and submit. Then they get fucking months to decide upon it, of which it's usually a rejection, and then you've got to resubmit another fucking month with an appeal, which usually gets overturned. So during that entire process, somebody made a load of money, usually a bank, because they lent the person to buy the land to begin with. So the bank made some extra money on our archaic system that, by the way, could be run by AI and a decision made in moments, because
Absolutely.
Planning submissions are based on logic and data and facts, not opinion. And as soon as we introduce opinion, this is why this process takes so long. And if it was truly based on local policy planning framework and national policy planning framework, then it should be a robotic decision, yes or no, based on facts and principles and logic and data. So if that can be done, why don't we do it? Well, the conspiracy theorist in me thinks that they set up this system like this so that these banks can make some cream off this time delay that we have. Now, let's say that process takes a year, maybe longer, to get through. What does that now mean for the finances on that development? Well, the end value isn't going to change, i.e. the property's worth when it's finished. But we've just spunked a load of money up front in wasted resource. So that now means that the core bit, the jam in the sandwich again, the build, now has to take a kick for the developers to still make the money. So what starts happening now is subby bashing and supplier bashing, or a reduction in quality of build and materials. That now has a negative detrimental impact on the quality of the build. And there's no wonder all these fucking house builders are building shit, because they can't make money at it for these reasons. Now, not only that, the way we build houses in this country it fucking blows my mind. I've been and visited construction sites all over the world. In fact, I'm building a house in Cyprus as we speak. And it is literally reinforced concrete frame rendered. And it is fucking bomb-proof. It will be built in around 16 weeks.
Really?
Over here, we have... I mean, how big are fucking cavities these days? 150 mil? Like, what the fuck is that about? Do we really need 2 skins of brickwork and a cavity wall and a fucking metre-deep foundation to build it on? Like, all of that's just so inefficient. All of the building regs that make things inefficient, because they do. Like, you look at Victorian properties that have been erected since the mid-1800s, that are absolutely fine. Built on dirt with no cavity.
Well, to be fair, mate, I would argue that in another 200 years, it will still be those ones standing and the modern ones will be fucking crumbled.
100% it will. Yeah.
Yeah, it's... that's a worry. That's a worry. But it strikes me when they're making all these promises and then the industry is vastly under-supported, under-promoted. I've said a few times, I think, the way that it is from the education system up, the construction industry is where you end up if you fail. Work hard at school or you'll end up on a building site.
Yeah.
You imagine if you got some A-star students and got them into business and construction, they would absolutely smash it right now.
Yeah, definitely.
To me, demand dictates value. And the way that things are going, I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but in my industry, I'm never going to get an emergency call out at 2 a.m. like, it's an emergency kitchen repaint. It's not going to happen. Although some of my customers, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. But what you will have is the emergency, my pipes burst. Oh, actually, there's only one emergency plumber in the area now, and he's booked up for 3 weeks. So, what's going to happen then? My power's off. Well, you can't get a sparky for 2 weeks. Or a pipe's burst. I'm getting flooded. Nobody to come and sort it out. Because it might sound a bit dramatic, but it is kind of heading in that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, this was years ago now, mate, but I had to get an emergency plus. It's the only time I've ever done it, in all the I've done all sorts, mate. I mean, I'm a painter and decorator by trade, but I've dipped into other trades. I worked as a contract manager for a while. Anyway, long story short, moved into my new house. The pipes weren't where they were meant to be, and I managed to put a screw through a central heating pipe on a Sunday afternoon. First time I've ever hit a pipe, ever, like, in all the things I've ever done. Anyway, I had to call an emergency plumber out. I got chat into the bloke, and it was like, what was it, 280 quid, and this was 6 years ago, 280 quid call-out fee, and then if it went past the first hour, it was like another £140 plus VAT or something. So when he got in, I was like, mate, this will not take more than an hour. I don't care what you got to do. Patch it up, stop the water fucking... Anyway, long story short, I was talking to him, and as an emergency plumber, that's how his business model had gone. He only worked on 2 nights a week and Sundays because he could earn enough money off that alone. Didn't have to work throughout the week. He was doing something else in the week.
Yeah.
But you imagine when they're not there.
Yeah, that's it.
Because nobody's coming to do it.
That's it. I think the motor trade's I'm not in the motor trade anymore, of course, but I think it's going the same way. I've got...
That's a tough one, mate, isn't it? Because a lot of the electric market now, they're not mechanics anymore, are they? They're like, super techie...
Call them technicians, don't they?
Milk floats, essentially.
Yeah.
A mate of mine owns a garage, and the same thing. There's certain cars that you won't touch now because you got the crossover, the hybrids, and it's all like sealed units, isn't it? So...
Yeah, I couldn't get my car. I needed to put my car into a garage. It was under warranty still, 9 months old. Booked it in. He said, we can't see you for 6 weeks. I was like, mate, it's under warranty. It needs fixing. All my dash lights are on. You need to get it fixed. Nothing we can do.
Not a Range Rover, mate, is it?
No, it's a Tiguan.
Oh, okay.
He said, well, you got a courtesy car that I can have? No, sorry, they're all booked. And you're like, what? Like, where'd you go with that?
Oh, yeah. That many of them are
clearly
breaking.
under-resourced in terms of getting it fixed and replacing it.
Yeah.
That won't just be in my town. That'll be in...
To be fair, Paul, I mean, we could go really deep on conspiracy here, but there's a whole you'll have nothing can like it sort of vibe under things, isn't there? It's like, will it get to the stage where you don't own your own car, like the plane scenario, rent one.
Yeah. Everything will go that way.
Self-driving cars and that kind of thing.
Lifetime tenancies in properties. We'll just pay rent forever instead of mortgages. That's all coming. 1,000,000%. That's not conspiracy theory. That's a fact.
There's a lot of, is it BlackRock that are buying up a lot of property in the UK?
Yeah.
There's Germany already, isn't there, that have got pretty much a renter's model. There's not a lot of people own
Lifetime
property.
mortgage in Germany's been there for a long time. Yeah. You got BlackRock, Lloyds Bank. They're all vowed to be the world's biggest, the country's biggest landlord.
I mean, there's a potential big change in construction coming that will affect a lot of small businesses, which no doubt you've heard about, with the whole VAT move down to 30 grand. What's your opinion on that?
It's a very polarising question, isn't it? I think it's needed.
You do?
Yeah, and I know no one wants to hear that. But I think it's needed for the reasons that it means that everybody's pricing on a level playing field. I think, your gas engineers, they're turning 80, 90k over a year, just dipped over threshold. Then customers' prices are now 20% more than your gas fitter that's doing it 50k. So the competition, I think what VAT does when there's the current 90k threshold is it creates a competition that's unfair. Whereas if everybody's VAT registered, and I don't think there should be any threshold, is my personal opinion. I think everybody in business should be VAT registered. That competition's now a level playing field. Everybody's pricing off the same.
I agree with that. That's a valid point. I think the big concern, I know the people I've spoke to, the main concern, me personally, touch wood, I think my demographic, I don't think it would matter. I don't think it would affect my business to go. I'm not VAT registered currently. I've always avoided it in my current demographic because the private versus commercial's not a problem, but private, you do get that divide then. I'm on the higher end of the scale when it comes to price anyway. So then to lump 20% on would really exasperate things. But if it comes in like that, I don't think my customer base would be greatly affected. I think the problem and a lot of people's concern is that Mr. and Mrs. Smith with a 3-bed semi or the 2 up, 2 downs, that market is going to be decimated by that price increase because particularly in my industry, I mean, it's not...
If everybody was VAT registered and it became the norm, just becomes the norm. There's VAT on everything else, on every product on the fucking planet.
True.
That they buy from the shops. You don't see them in Tesco moaning that flakes have gone up by 20p because there's VAT on them.
There is that.
So if everybody's VAT registered, everybody's VAT registered. So there is no sort of. I don't get the thinking around putting it at 30k. I don't understand that. Either have one or don't. Like if you're in business, you're VAT registered. If you did that, when it becomes the norm, it becomes the norm. It's just expected.
The 30k thing, mate, it's probably just for like, how can I put it, like hobby craft people, I guess, that, you know, the kind of people that make, I don't know, like the example, but makes birthday cards from home or whatever. Maybe it's just to protect hobbyists is the only thing I can think of with the VAT being at 30k, because there aren't any small businesses really that can operate under 30k legitimately.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So would it be? It would only be there to maybe, you know, your resellers, eBay sellers, those kind of hobbyists, I guess. Do you think it will come in?
Yeah, I do. He's like he's on the fucking warpath.
Yeah, he's on some kind of path.
Just to decimate the fucking country. Well, let's find out what nobody wants, and we'll do that. That seems to be the approach, the angle. I mean, I'm April 27. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm off to Cyprus.
Okay, that's interesting. As in completely emigrating.
Yeah.
Not. Are you retaining interests in the UK?
Financial ones. No.
Okay. Interesting. I think they say at the moment that the UK has got more millionaires leaving the country than any other country in Europe.
That's right.
What's made you want to leave?
Where's the incentive to stay? There isn't one. They're fucking just trying to decimate small businesses. They rampage to tax the shit out of everything and everyone. And they just make it hard to live and want to be here. The weather's down, everybody's depressed. Cyprus is a fucking amazing place.
I love Cyprus myself. Been over there twice in the last couple of years. The other end of Pathos, been
to the east, Ainapollanaca, Protaras.
Yeah. That's where I've been a couple of times. A beautiful hotel over there that we found.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful place, mate. What's the difference in terms of like tax regulations and that over there?
So your limited company over there pays 12.5% corp tax on profit, and then you can take dividends out of your company and pay 2.65% up to 180k per director.
So you're looking at a total tax of like 15% ish.
Yeah, thereabouts. Yeah.
180 dividends. Yeah, that's better than the UK, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, we worked out that to earn the same level of income in the UK as we're going to be having in Cyprus, our turnover in the UK would need to triple.
Fucking hell. And like you say, mate, where's the incentive for business owners to stay?
There's none.
Yeah.
There's none.
But what I don't understand is how any reasonable person can't see that. Like, if you've got all these stats coming at you, if you're sat in government now, you've got all these stats coming at you, there's more millionaires leaving, everyone's getting out of the country. Why are they doing what they're doing? That's what I don't understand.
Well, they know this is happening. So, again, conspiracy theorist in me is, like, you could argue that entrepreneurs, business owners are leaders of our leadership mentality. They get rid of the leaders, what they got left? They got followers. They got conformists. It's the entrepreneurs and the leaders that are all against this digital ID and all the rest of their plans. They're the ones shouting about it. But
what's your opinion on digital ID?
I don't give a fuck, if I'm honest.
No.
If they want to track me now, they can. They just look on my Facebook. Yeah. I honestly don't see the. I'm not saying I want it. I'm not saying I'm pro it. I just don't understand the resistance to it. I don't really get it.
It's another fear-mongering move, in my opinion, mate. It's keep us all scared. It's easier to control.
Yeah.
Things like that are being weaponised.
When the leaders leave, that compounds. When all the entrepreneurs and all the business owners all fuck off and everybody's working for Tesco and Morrison's and the like, that then becomes like we now have the government then have a nation of conformists. They ain't got anyone gobbing off. like me and you on this podcast now. That's not happening anymore because we've fucked off.
Well, I'm jealous as well, mate. When you were saying about moving to Cyprus, yeah, it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
It's what's the process with that then, Paul? Like, do you have to apply for citizenship, or do you have like a long-term visa?
You've got two angles to go at. I have to be careful what I say now. So the first angle is a temporary visa where you have to reapply each year, or you can go for permanent residency. But to get permanent residency, which is what they call the golden visa, you have to spend 300k upon entry. So the property you're buying, you've got to bring in 300 grand of your money onto the.
It's not too bad,
island.
Is it?
You get permanent residency when you do that.
Yeah.
You've also then got evidence that you're bringing in. The exact numbers, I think, are 65k basic income, 25k for the spouse, and 10k per kid, or numbers around them. You can't bring that from Cyprus. That's got to be brought in from abroad.
So you have to be earning that amount elsewhere.
Yep.
And is that just in point of entry, or do they
No, it's each year.
You got to monitor that each year.
Now think about the economics of that. So as an island, Cyprus is saying, for you to live here, you've got to spend 300 grand, and you've got to bring in 80k of foreign income per year. What do we do in the UK? Come here and we'll fucking pay you.
I was going to say, mate, the opposite.
It's fucking backwards, isn't it?
So they're out there trying to attract millionaires, business people, entrepreneurs, successful people.
Yeah, 2.65 dividend tax. Who's not coming to Cyprus to have that?
And we're pulling in the opposite.
And you've got to spend to get in. You've got to buy your way in, essentially, and maintain that level of income. Never allowed to work there.
Okay. You're not allowed to work on the island?
No.
That's interesting.
I can own a company on the island that earns profit, and then I can take dividends from that company whilst on the island, but I can't work for it.
But you can own it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I have to have staff.
Yeah.
So I've got to employ Cypriots.
So you've got to employ Cypriot people.
Another good move from them.
Yeah. Fair play though, mate. I mean, I think a lot of people are questioning. You got kids?
Yeah, 4.
Going with you?
No, just one coming with.
Okay. Are they older?
So my eldest is 24, and my twins are 20. One in the Paras, one at uni. And then my youngest is 11. She's coming. She can't wait.
Yeah, I bet. Mate, it's a life. I mean, it's a beautiful island. It is a beautiful island. I've been out, like I say, a couple of times, and yeah, I'd move there in a heartbeat, to be fair. Situation with moving kids and all the rest of it. But yeah, it's a situation that I'm keeping my eye on in terms of the UK, because like you said, it's quite frightening. It's quite frightening where it's all going. Not only that, it's one of the least safe places in what feels like in Europe now.
In terms of crime, you mean?
Just, yeah, in terms of crime, but in terms of just, I don't know whether it's a perception or an atmosphere, but just walking around. How many cities in the UK can you walk around at night and feel safe?
Do you know, that's not something I'm exposed to, and I don't watch the news. So when I hear people say stuff like that, I'm completely detracted and disconnected from it. I live in the countryside in Lincolnshire, and I never go into a city, so I never feel that.
I have, mate. So I grew up in a small town not too far from here called Redditch, which is on the outskirts of Birmingham. So when I was a kid...
Done some work there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that was what I was born. I lived there till I was 31. I was born there, lived there till I was 31. So my childhood used to be in and out of Birmingham. We used to catch the train from Redditch train station. Birmingham was like 40 minutes. So my playground, as it were, was Birmingham. We always used to go into Brom as a kid. I've seen Birmingham change massively. Still have to go in now and again. So my work catchment area, because we do what we do, we travel a bit further. So we cover the whole of the West Mids. I try to keep it an hour back where I can, but ultimately, if it's paying, we'll travel. Some of the more specialist services we do, we'll travel a bit, like specialist wallpaper installations or spray finishing, that kind of thing. So we still work, do the odd jobs in Birmingham and stuff like that, and mate, it's changed so much. We did a job only a couple of months ago in Birmingham, in what used to be a nice area. Customer had bought a house that having a whole renovation, so weren't living there. And when I got there one day, owner of the property was there, and he was sort of, fucking and blinding, couldn't, raging he was. What's going on, mate? He said, got in this morning, and a homeless woman had broken into his porch, and he said when he got there, he thought she was getting changed. She'd got some clothes and was like changing in his porch, and he's like, "Fucking, what are you doing? Like, you get out, kind of." Just, oh, give me a minute. I've got nowhere to get changed. Anyway, apparently she'd got changed and left, and after she left, she'd been using his porch as a toilet.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. And then a couple of days later, because I followed on socials, we did our job and left. And a couple of days later, I saw them posting that they'd been broken into, the door had been put through, and people's tools had been stolen off site. And it used to be a nice area. And while we were working on site, mate, I kid you not, of an evening, as the day got on, it was like The Walking Dead. The people that were clear drug addicts were walking up and down past the house. And last year, my wife, with her awards company, we rented out a club in Birmingham and put the awards on there. It was a little bit of a different spin on things. And at the end of the evening, this was on a Sunday night, probably about 2 a.m. in the morning, walked somebody back to a hotel that was staying not too far away. It was apocalyptic, Paul, honestly. And I got back to the hotel we were staying at, and there was security there. I had to press a buzzer, and the security bloke come down. I went, "Mate, how long has it been like that?" And he used the words, God is my witness. He said, "What, you're talking about The Walking Dead?" I was like, "Yeah, that's perfect." It was like zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
And he went, "Mate, the last 2 years, it's got real bad."
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was so I walked somebody. We'd had the awards. We'd gone to the hotel bar. One of the ladies that was with our group of people was staying in a hotel 10 minutes walk away. She tried to get an Uber, couldn't get one. Couple cancelled, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to walk back." And I was like, "No." My wife said to me, she was like, "Will you walk her back? Because I know where the hotel was." So yeah, I'll walk her back. And don't get me wrong, like, I didn't feel at threat because these people were clearly very ill. But there was like one of the overhangs of one of the buildings, and there was a group. There must have been 14, 15 men, like cardboard. They'd made like beds and in this little overhang. And I walked back with this, took this lady back to her hotel, and she went in. Everything was fine. There was no issues. But I would imagine if she was on her own, she'd have been terrified. The weird thing was when we left our hotel in the morning and sort of came out expecting to see all this, the council were just there jet washing everything. Like the overhang where these, it must have been at least 14, 15 men was just being jet washed. So God knows what they'd been doing under it. But it was like when the sun come up, they cleared it all away. When the sun went down, it turned into some apocalyptic, Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
It never used to be like that, mate. Because I grew up round there, and I've seen the changes, which is quite frightening.
Yeah.
And it's like the reason we moved over here, so I've been over in this town now for six years, was because the way that my hometown's kind of gone. And I always judge a place when we moved into our house now. I judge a place based on if my wife turns around to me at 9 o'clock and says I'm taking the dog for a walk. Do I feel I have to go?
Yeah.
But here, no. Fine, like absolutely fine. It's a lovely little town, to be fair. If she's taking the dog for a walk at night, yes, it's cool. My hometown, I'd be like, oh, fuck's sake, all right, let me get my coat on, and you know what I mean. So
and my gun.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, mate, personally, on how it's all going. But yeah, I mean, we've gone off on a right tangent there, haven't we? But you enjoy fucking Cyprus anyway, Paul. Jesus Christ. But tell me, before we wrap things up, mate. Use the opportunity, use the platform to let people know what it is you do, like the retreats that you put on and things like that. Just talk a little bit about that. You can use it to...
Yeah, so my business coaching services, as we've said, are primarily directed towards trades business owners. And the promise of working with me is over a period of 12 months, you'll double your business, get off the tools. That's what I want for people. If getting off the tools is not for you, then I'm not for you either, because I'm a massive advocate of you're never going to make any money whilst driving a trowel or a screwdriver or whatever tool your tool of choice is. So getting off the tools is hugely critical to growth, and if you want to create some wealth from this industry. Period of 12 months, and I do it through, I call it the Digital Mastermind, which is an online training platform where I am in most days delivering a lesson of some description around business or personal development. And that happens on Microsoft Teams, or Zoom, however you want to know it as. That's my core offer. And then I have an annual business development retreat, as you said, based over in Cyprus. That's a week with me, sat around the boardroom table for 5 or 6 days, depending on which one you came on, in order to get your trajectory for your business over the next 3 and 5 years. So business planning, looking at your sales process in a real intimate environment with a group of like-minded people all on the same sort of level and path to you. And then I run an annual event, which happens to be next weekend. That's in London, the Property and Construction Conference, where I bring the two industries together, property developers and the builders, and I want them to do business together in the same room rather than, just have a load of builders in there ripping the shit out of each other, or a load of property developers in there all on their own moaning about builders. I want to create this collaborative environment where they come together and do some business together. Hosted it last year in Brum, actually, at the NEC. And this year it's in the financial district of London. Huge event, lots to sort out. I don't even know the fucking address, but I know it's next weekend. And I ain't done my slide yet or anything, but that's just my character. And that's it in a nutshell. Moving to Cyprus to do the same thing.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, mate, somebody might have listened to this and thought, bloke sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Where can they find you?
Facebook's the best place, but I'm on all the usual platforms, Facebook, Insta.
What's the name on your
TikTok
socials?
Just Paul Tinker.
Just Paul Tinker.
Yeah.
Is there a website?
www.constructiontrainingacademy.com.
What I should do, mate, if you're listening, wherever you're listening, scroll down, look in the description. I'll link and tag as many of those as I'll put your website in and bits and pieces so it's easy for people to find you, mate.
Yeah.
Like I say, man, it's the industry needs people like you. It really does. I'm such a big advocate for the industry because it's done me very well. Suited my personality. I mean, I did well in school, came out of school with, well qualified, but the academic world was not for me. So I've spent my whole life in construction and I can't fault it, mate. It's given me a good lifestyle. And I see a lot of people in society where I think you'd do well within the industry, but there's this huge void and cavity that you're filling with what you're doing. I think, to be honest, the industry needs to incorporate a lot more people like you, and I think that needs to be mainstream. I don't understand, like, the way my mind works. I don't understand why it isn't a very simple 3-stage process in terms of master your trade, train in business, start a business, and utilise coaching. But it seems that only step 1 is ever, listened. And it's a bizarre conversation where as soon as you get good at something, you're like, what other industry does that?
None.
Exactly.
We're unique.
I mean, again, it was supermarkets we've touched a few times. You imagine being the manager of Tesco's and then just going, I'm good at this, I'm going to set up my own supermarket.
Yeah, that's ending bad, isn't it? Yeah. Well, they won't do it. They just won't do it because of more sense. Yeah,
but our industry, it's it's a bit like the Wild West at times. But it's great to have people like you, mate. I've seen what you do. You talk a lot of sense. So for everyone listening, go and give Paul a follow. Even just your socials, mate. You can pick up a lot of little trinkets of information from what you're doing. Is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you wanted to get out there, mate?
I don't think so, mate. But look, if you ever need a part 2, I'll come back down.
Yeah, man. Well, you'd be flying over from Cyprus.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
In fact, let's do it the other way, Paul.
Yeah, you can come to me. Yeah.
Let's do it in Cyprus.
Yeah.
But yeah, go and check out Paul's socials. Again, mate, thank you hugely for your time and input. There's been some great knowledge in there, and hopefully it's just sparked a thought process with some of the people listening that are business owners to just, do a little bit of work on that. I'd love to see. I'm a big advocate, obviously, with what I'm doing for mental health, and the construction industry is so rife with people that are struggling, and a lot of that revolves around pressures and money and coping mechanisms. And I think most people could agree that if you were financially stable within the industry, it's still hard work, but it would be a lot easier to operate with a clear mind where you're not always concerned about where your next paycheck's coming from.
Yeah, defo. Everybody responds from their fiscal position. What I mean by that is when you're in a situation where it needs managing, it needs responding to and not reacting to, that reaction usually comes from your financial position in that moment, i.e. customer's got an issue with something and you're skint, you're going to respond badly to that situation. Customer's got an issue with something and you're flush, you'll just resolve it.
Exactly that.
Just know that the thing needs to be resolved. You know, you've got to park your money position whilst it's done and then revisit that. It's just a piece of awareness for people. And I'm a big advocate of that. Don't let money drive your actions. Don't let your bank balance drive your decisions. It's a bad place to come from when it comes to running a business.
Great place to end it on, mate. It's a good bit of knowledge.
That was a good fucking banger at the end.
It was. Well done, mate. Did you just hold that in?
No, I didn't. It just came to me.
Well, Paul, again, mate, massive thank you, man. Thank you for your time. Thanks to everyone listening. Catch you soon on the next one.